Everybody wants to make an appearance. You want to make an appearance? The little girl wants to make an appearance. This is my little girl. She's so tiny. Oh, and she does this frequently, okay? She prides herself on being able to climb on my back and my shoulders. Yes, say hi. Those giant claws. Yes, you want to stay here? Okay. There she goes. Okay. Hi guys. You see my face and we are going over Chronicles. That is a good sign. So as I continue to read through First Chronicles, there are more names to be listed, as we will soon learn. They are more so the attendants and the soldiers of King David. And we will learn about that, and I may add them to the sheet, I may not. I might as well if I have the time. But for now, we're just going to read because there is some narrative inserted that we'll have to just go over. And you need to see my expressions when we do the narrations. Let's go ahead and start out with a quote. Oh, what is that sound which so thrills the ear? Down in the valley, drumming, drumming? Only the scarlet soldiers, dear, the soldiers coming. All right. So when we hear the drums, right, we have the idea that the soldiers are coming. Some of us can be scared, right? Some soldiers that are coming, it's scary. It's a bad thing. They're the enemy. And we'll learn about some of the enemies that King Saul and David were up against. But in the latter case that we'll talk about with King David, he has some great soldiers, some great warriors that are good. So it says here, it's only the scarlet soldiers, dear. The soldiers are coming, as to say, do not worry. Okay, these soldiers are on our side. They're here to protect us. So this is from Oh, What Is That Sound by Audine. All right, so we're talking about military. Very cohesive with what we're talking about today. Our quote does align well. Excuse me. I have little furs, make me a little bit itchy. Okay, let us begin with chapter 10 of First Chronicles. It says here, Now the Philistines fought against Israel. The Israelites fled before them, and many fell dead on Mount Gilboa. When all the Israelites in the valleys saw that the army had fled, and that Saul and his sons had died, they abandoned their towns and fled, and the Philistines came and occupied them. Okay, so we had Saul, king of Israel, at this time, and if you remember, we are kind of going back to where we landed in our kings sections. We're going back to right after Saul's death. If you remember, he landed on his sword, right? He essentially impaled himself on his sword so he wouldn't have to face the enemy. He would not have to face the Philistines. Okay, it says here, Saul died because he was unfaithful to the Lord. He did not keep the word of the Lord, and even consulted a medium for guidance, and did not inquire of the Lord. Excuse me. So the Lord put him to death and turned the kingdom over to David, son of Jesse. All right, so that was the end of Saul. We did talk quite at length about his character flaws, okay? He was not imperfect, nor was he was not imperfect, nor was he perfect, right? He had his good side and his bad side. David still showed a lot of reverence and respect for Saul, given the fact that he was a king, and he was very close with his son Jonathan, okay? Saul did do some right by King David, although there were some issues, as we had talked about. But there was even bigger issues through Saul's character in the eyes of the Lord, because he did not consult with him whatsoever, and it says here he went even as far as to consult with a medium for guidance. So if any advice for you coming up on this holiday season. Okay, try your best to stay away from this stuff because it's talked about as something you should not do. When it comes in the sense of telling your future, okay, talk to God. Ask God first, okay? Ask God first and let that also be the last. Again, I only say that from experience, okay? It can only bring about ruckus most of the time. Ruckus, even if it's not, you don't think it's connected, it is connected. It brings about a lot of chaos, okay, when you do so. Because the Lord gets upset, okay? He does, I know it sounds weird, but it does, he takes offense to it. And he almost kind of washes his hands of you in certain situations. And as much as you are still protected, and as much as he would like to help and assist, because you went the other route, he will go ahead and let you go down that other route, and it will not be pleasant, it will not be fun, okay? It will be very dramatic, talking from experience, okay? So as much as I will advise against it, of course, you make your own decisions, you follow your own path. I'm just letting in a little bit of warning there, okay? It says here, it's not a good thing. All right, so the Lord did put him to death, okay? David then took up residence in the fortress, and so it was called the City of David. So now David rises up as king, or kind of like a temporary ruler, okay, not officially crowned, because they are in the throes of war. The Philistines are up against them. They are pressing. They're in the throes of war. David is taking command. At that time, David was in the stronghold, and the Philistine garrison was at Bethlehem. David longed for water and said, "Oh, that someone would get me a drink of water from the well near the gate of Bethlehem." So the three broke through the Philistine lines, drew water from the well near the gate of Bethlehem, and carried it back to David. But he refused to drink it. Instead, he poured it out to the Lord. "God forbid that I should do this," he said. "Should I drink the blood of these men who went at the risk of their lives?" Okay, all right, so we have a little bit of drama here, right? He's longing for water, he's expressing his thirst to his soldiers, and he's getting very specific. He's like, "Someone go get me, oh, that someone could go get me a drink of water from the well." He's not necessarily ordering his commanders or his soldiers to go ahead and do so. He's just expressing how he wishes that they would. But it also is a reflection of the loyalty of the three. Okay, so keep in mind the Philistines are pressing up against them, but they break through just to go grab the king water. So this is just a introductory glimpse into the loyalty of the soldiers of King David, of the people of King David, okay, expressly, without a doubt, loyal to him. And we've talked about that also at length. Anyways, and he ends up pouring out the water, not drinking it because he feels bad that they risked their life. All right, so a little bit of dramatics there. It says here, "Such were the exploits of the three mighty warriors." Abishai, the brother of Joab, was the chief of the three. He was doubly honored above the three and became their commander, even though he was not included among them. Okay, so we're pausing here because it says such were the exploits of the three. We talk about these next few lines of chapter 11, everybody else but the three. It is actually not expressed. I did go back in Kings and check. It's not expressed as to who these three soldiers were. Maybe we looked it up, maybe we talked about it, but I don't remember now, and it actually does not list their names. It lists Abishai, who is the commander of the three, and it also lists here this Benaiah, son of Jechariah, a valiant fighter from Kisbeel, performed great exploits. He was held in great honor than any of the 30, but he was not included among the three. So it talks about these exploits of these warriors, but it doesn't name who the three soldiers were that went and got water to David. Why, I do not know. Even if I was trying to Google it, it's not coming up. It's kind of speculated. It's not something that comes up. And then it goes on to list the 30 mighty warriors, or the 30 mighty soldiers of David, and it's listing them in order, line of 30, right? I'm only going to name a few. It says here the mighty warriors were Ashael, brother of Joab, Elchanan, son of Dodo from Bethlehem, Shemath the Hararite, Helez the Pelonite, Herzo the Carmelite, Nerai, son of Ezbai, Eliel, Obed, and Jasiel the Mezabite. Okay, so some of the mighty warriors of David. And it also goes on to list, these were the men who came to David at Ziklag, while he was banished from the presence of Saul, son of Kish. They were among the warriors who helped him in battle. So again, if we remember David at Ziklag, right, when he was banished from Saul, people came from every tribe to go ahead and stand with David at this time. So it says here, Joah and Zebediah, sons of Jeroham from Gedor. Other Benjamites and some men from Judah also came to David and this stronghold. David went out to meet them and said, if you have come to me in peace to help me, I am ready for you to join me. But if you have come to betray me to my enemies, when my hands are free from violence, may the God of our ancestors see it and judge you. Okay, so this is an important moment because, like I said, people are coming, and it says Benjamites were coming, who were usually expressly loyal to Saul, given that Saul was also a Benjamite. But he says something important. He's like, my hands are free from violence. I will do you no wrong. As we remember, David was very moral, right? He did not like to express violence. He did not like to kill people or put people to death. He was very, except for that one time. Don't mention it, except for that one time. But listen, he says, let God judge you, okay? Let God see it and he will judge you. I'm gonna just wipe my hands from this. And that's a great thing to kind of live by, right? When somebody wrongs you or somebody does something really terrible against you, it's best for you not to enact the revenge. You know, don't seek out the revenge. Let God handle it the way he will handle it, because he is the best at enacting the judgment and the revenge. So that, I feel like that's kind of where the saying, only God can judge me, comes from, because this is literally what he says. Let the God of our ancestors see it and judge you. And then they respond, only God can judge me, right? like many of us have. Okay. These are the numbers of men armed for battle who came to David at Hebron to turn Saul's kingdom over to him, as the Lord had said. From Levi, we have 4,600, including Jechadiah, leader of the family of Aaron, with 3,700 men. And from the east of the Jordan, from Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, armed with every type of weapon, we have 120,000. All of these were fighting men who volunteered to serve in the ranks. They came to Hebron fully determined to make David king over all Israel. All the rest of the Israelites were also of one mind to make We're also of one mind to make David king. All right, so this is what we have, right? When David is in Hebron, we have people from every tribe coming to lift him up, to exalt him. And as we see, just from east of the Jordan, Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, 120,000 fighting men. So obviously this is excluding the women and the children. These are fighting men, willing, ready, and able to go ahead and be a part of David's great empire, essentially. Okay, 120,000 just from the east, and then almost, including generally, like 8,000 from Levi alone, the priests, ready to fight, right? The people of God ready to fight. And again, it goes through all of the tribes. All 12 tribes have their numbers and have their amounts and lists. So again, this is a lot of people. And remember, I told you, these aren't just groups of individuals and their families out in tents, right? This is, from the east alone, we have 120,000 people coming to support David at this time. So I told you, this is a very well-equipped civilization, a very well-equipped army. And I know we must have talked about this and mentioned just the sheer numbers, right, of Israel at this time of David. And this is still early, right? David is the second known king of Israel. So I would say still very early in the within the tribe of Israel, still very early is what I'm trying to say. I'm just seeing if we have anybody else. I'll just read through real quick so we can get an idea. From Asher, we have 40,000. From Dan, 28,600. From Naphtali, 1,000 officers with 37,000 men carrying shields and spears. From Zebulun, 50,000. Issachar, we had 200 chiefs with all their relatives under their command. Manasseh, 18,000. Ephraim, 20,800. And Benjamin, even Saul's tribe, right, 3,000. Okay. And Judah, of course, mentioned first, 6,800. Surprising, because Judah was fairly large, so I don't know. Simeon, 7,100. So, interesting. Again, all these fighting men ready to join the ranks of David. So this is where I'll leave you. We talked about fighting men, we talked about soldiers, which aligns well with our quote that we just read. And we are going to read a little bit more narrative after this. Next time I see you. We have all week, ladies and gentlemen. And First Chronicles goes up to 29 chapters. So as we've talked about, as you know, we have quite a little bit more to cover. So hopefully this does not detour you. I will try my best to keep it interesting. But thanks for listening. As always, thanks for sticking to the end. God bless you guys. Have a great rest of your day.